We're here at what is called the Meadow Wickiup. It was discovered by my good friend and collaborator Tori Taylor a long time ago, maybe in the 80s, certainly in the 90s. He frequently brought his clients out here for the fishing, and he looked at this pile of wood, thought there's something strange about it, and rode over, tied up his horse, and went, that looks like that was made by humans. And first time I saw it, it stood up a lot higher. There was enough room to get in there and sit up. Now there's only enough room to get in there and lie down. But it's a great example of both cribbed and conical styles of Wickiup. You can see that all these stumps have been put on the windward side to deflect the wind, and then they're kind of cribbed up, but the structure itself is conical style. It's wooden teepee style. So it's a combination of both cribbed and conical. And we're in an area, there are projectile points and flakes here, mostly late prehistoric stuff, but there's some older stuff too. This whole meadow is chock full of prehistory. We spent a couple days surveying it and found there are at least 8 sites. It's all one big site, but we've split it up into 8 sites for management purposes there. Tori Taylor found a 49-pound soapstone bowl preform across the meadow from us that's in the Du Bois Museum. He likes to say that this Wickiup was probably built by horse people, so relatively recent Indians, probably Shoshone Indians, because is a good place to graze your horses, whereas many of the other Wickiups, like Alkali, like the one in Meeteetse, like many of the other Wickiups that we've looked at, are in really bad places to have horses, and they were probably made by pedestrian Indians as opposed to equestrian Indians. So this whole meadow is just chock full of prehistory, mostly fairly recent, but there's some older stuff in here too. Many people have visited this Wickiup and drawn it. I've had tons of students try to draw this. It's a really challenging thing to draw. I've even had architectural engineers and architects draw this Wickiup, and they're very hard to do. This limb here is from that white bark pine, and it fell off many years ago and kind of collapsed it. If you notice, both of the white bark pines here that are overhanging the Wickiup are dead. They're losing their needles, and it won't be too long before this is just a pile of wood that no one knows about. It has been recorded. It does have a site number. It's in the database. It's been photographed every year for the past six or 7 years now. So it's well documented, and it just barely missed a fire. There's a fire, can't remember the name of the fire. It burned just a few hundred feet behind us, and luckily did not make it over here and burn this. But I suspect when this forest burns, and it will burn because it is so dry and so dead, that there will be an amazing amount of archaeology that comes out from this. This Wickiup has not been dendrochronologically dated. It would be very difficult to do. It's possible, but it would take a lot of effort to do that. You would take an increment borer and bore into one of those trees and count the rings and hope to match it up with something. The majority of these were built in between the 1650s and the late 17th, late 18th century. Others have been dated. They're 250, 300 years old. They don't last much longer than that, although I think there's one at High Rise Village that I suspect is where the wooden elements are over 400 years old up there. So this is just a really nice Wickiup in a beautiful spot. Good water, good feed for horses, great resources. There are elk, there are sheep, there are deer up here. There's fish a little less than 2 miles away. If you go over the top of the mountain, you're in Chert. If you go up the mountain, there's Soapstone. It's just a really good place to be in the summer.